Hey, Nicholas with the Backyard TARDIS here with another reaction. This time, we're reacting to a Knuckles trailer from Paramount. Paramount dropped it. I am so excited for this. This is not going to be a long intro. This is something that, you know, all the stuff going on with the writer's strike, I think this was going to come out, last year, and Sonic 3 was going to come out in the spring or February or whatever, as the previous two movies had. But everything kind of got bumped 6 months out, and I'm happy with it because we had Sonic Prime. So like all last year was Sonic Prime. Now we're going to have the Knuckles series, and then we're going to get Sonic Movie 3 at the end of this year. I think it's a good spread out. I want Knuckles to get some love. Something I've really loved about Sonic Movie 2 is they finally did Knuckles right. There's been a lot of discourse about Shadow being done right. When Shadow was introduced, I feel like Knuckles' character was assassinated. Because up until that point, he was the second strongest character to Sonic. And he fought final bosses too, he was that. And then from Shadow onward, it seemed like every game we introduced another powerful character, and it was like Sonic was leveling up, but Knuckles was staying here. And this is the guy that knocked the Super out of Super Sonic. And there's a lot of theories of how he was able to do that, but like, you know, he goes hyper. He's powerful. He's as an Archie Sonic, he is as strong as Sonic is fast. So that just, I love them showing him being able to hold his own with Sonic, be an actual threat to Sonic, to be on his level, and not just negated to distant supporting cast, which is kind of what he's become. Now, little tropes of him initially, you know, being duped by Eggman, that's been done over and over and over again. Of course, when you're doing an origin of it, it's fine. Like games, when they revisit it, it started to get tired. And you know, Boom Knuckles was fun. He was a completely different thing, just like I liked Evil Shadow in that. But I don't want mainline Knuckles. They've been kind of making him dumb. And the whole thing was he was naive. He was isolated by himself, but he's supposed to be very intelligent. He's just not street smart. He doesn't get the concept of lying. He doesn't get reading other people and their motives. But he's actually intelligent when it comes to observing a situation and understanding how things work and stuff like that. Which is, and you know, archaeology and knowing ancient things and knowing everything about his island and stuff like that. So let's not make this long. Let's get in this trailer because I am super hyped and excited.
You're an alien. You're super powerful. You recently saved the world with your friends. What do you like to do?
Okay, we see Wade talking. We know that it's that. Ooh, I like that. The goal with that, like from the game.
I was thinking more like.
Oh, it just looks so good. Yoga.
Hey, buddy. Isn't it great to finally relax?
I am an Echidna warrior. I only remain on Earth because I made a vow to you and the fox. So I made
You and the
myself
fox.
at home.
Nope, we are not turning our living room into some kind of gladiator fighting pit. What is Ozzy doing here?
He will be challenging his greatest enemy.
Cat?
Is that our mailman?
This is not a place of battle, so I will begin my quest. Come, Wade.
Most people think.
I love that they've got the OVA hat.
I make warriors. Let's go get him.
Oh,
Knuckles.
six episode event.
Found his little friend.
Who's this
He's
guy?
vulnerable. He's the key to my newest creation.
You worked for Robotnik.
Is this
Bring
a
me
Robotnik
Knuckles.
placement?
Sorry, this lane is reserved.
You think you can take my power?
Wade.
Do I look like I need your power?
What are you talking about?
Well, that was
Nothing needs
corny.
power. It's the whole reason we're here.
Yes. Yeah, that's why you're there. Okay, yeah.
You're mine.
Whoa.
I made a promise to protect this planet.
Hey, was that Pentak?
I am
Just had a little
ready.
Oh, snap!
flaming
Someone's
fist.
about to get slapped.
He's gonna be in a fighting competition. Oh, I like how he absorbed the rings like that. 6th episode of it streaming April 20th. Wait, is it like gonna be a binge thing?
You gonna rescue him?
No, he must learn
No.
to rescue himself.
Yes, that's Knuckles' way. Oh, that was glorious. That was perfect. Oh man. Oh, I know I wasn't saying a whole lot, but like there were a ton of little touches in there. I love the humor of it. You know, Knuckles is great. The fish out of water humor is great with Knuckles. I like how he's like trying to assimilate, but like he's the warrior. And Sonic's like, hey, we gotta relax, we gotta cool, we got a maid here, we can run around and explore stuff. He's like, I must train my heels, I must hone, I must find the battle. I like that. I like that, you know, when everybody said, oh, he's gonna be on a road trip with Wade, and you know, it was kind of like, okay, he's the B character to Tom, who had the road trip with Sonic. They're trying to recapture some of that, but I thought Wade, but yeah, Wade is one of those things where the idea that he feels inadequate because he was shown to be inadequate. He wasn't mentally there, but Knuckles won't get that. This Knuckles won't get that he's not quite that knowledgeable, but he knows that Wade wants to go to the next level. Knuckles is like, I'm gonna I train warriors. I'm gonna make you like an Echidna warrior. And just like Wade's like, oh cool, but training with Knuckles just doesn't understand that humans are not that durable. I mean, he'd have all his skin ripped off being drugged behind a motorcycle like that. Thankfully the guy wasn't going that fast, but yeah, it doesn't take being drugged along asphalt that long to lose a few layers. So but the little sign with him, that was such a nice touch. That when he went in and he absorbed the rings, that was really cool. That's kind of because the way they used the rings in the first, they used them like the big ring portals. And it's like, oh, Sonic has them, but he uses them as portal rings. But the idea of absorbing him like you do in the games, that was really cool to see. The idea that he's somehow fighting a street gang or something, and he's going to end up in a fight arena. Now, as far as the main bad guy, that was... I'm really bummed it's not Agent Stone, especially since you have Wade, and it seems like Wade and Agent Stone in Sonic Movie 2 had like a little, like, they seem like they would be good rivals. This other guy, maybe Agent Stone wasn't available because he was too busy, you know, either in universe doing the events of Sonic 3 or in real world filming Sonic 3, because I think they did these simultaneously in production wise, which is why they're going to be able to come out so close to each other. But I just think like creating another minion of Robotnik that's like this more like grizzled muscly character, but was also a robot, like it has very Whiplash Iron Man 2 feels. I'm not thrilled about that, but it's a knuckle size. Like, you know, Iron Man 2 is one of those movies that It's not amazing, but it's also not bad. It's Iron Man 2. It does not live up to the hype of Iron Man 1, but it's a decent, there are issues I have with Iron Man 3, but Iron Man 2 is one of those ones that gets dogged on a lot. Story wasn't as great, villain wasn't as great, CGI wasn't as great, but nothing about it was egregious. I know there's a thing about like how the plan with the president or whatever, and some of that people were like, we don't like, but nothing of it was egregious like what was done with the Mandarin in Iron Man 3. But it's just kind of, and that's how I kind of feel about like this. Like this villain doesn't, which you didn't expect. Well, I would have loved for them to adapt a little bit of Sonic Adventure, Knuckles going on a quest or something like that. But that's kind of too big of a story. But I think what they're doing here in the comedy, they're going for it. What is it? Is it Pontac or no, not Pontac. Well, it's gonna bug me. I'm gonna remember it right over. But Knuckles' ancestor, maybe that was supposed to be his father. Definitely not named Locke, because Penders. But maybe that was supposed to be his father. But it reminds me of his like great ancestor from Sonic Adventure. I think it's Pantac or something, which now, because I'm thinking of Pontac and Graf, the writers for some of the Sonic games that people don't like, a little bit unfairly in my opinion, but thinking back now, that's probably not what it is, because it sounds too much like that. But he was from Sonic Adventure. Like when you saw the flashbacks, he's the one that ended up angering Chaos and bringing the destruction of the Echidna race, which he was trying to save the Echidna race, but he made a mistake. Picked off the protector of the Chow, Chaos, semi-demigod of destruction type thing. This super Chow that made of water. So it's bringing in some of that deep lore. I love that Paramount did that with Sonic Movie 2. They showed Knuckles' tribe. Maybe we're gonna get, that's probably Knuckles' father in this. I love that they're doing that with someone with as deep a pockets as Paramount. So now you have Paramount and Sega. Now when it's a comic company like IDW doesn't want to touch that. Archie, they messed up all their stuff. They should have been able to put that to bed. It was their mess. Sega had the ultimate right. Like Sega could squash every claim. Like it doesn't matter what Archie has. Like Sega has their agreement with Archie. So no matter what the agreement is with the comic writer, Archie never had the right to give out those rights. So I look at it and go, Sega could squash anything that Penders tries to throw at them. But it's one of those things that it just I can't imagine Paramount wouldn't stand for it. Like they would go, because we know how Paramount is. Like they go after Star Trek fan films. It is like the moment someone tries to Kim Penders tries to do anything, Paramount will slap that to half court, and I think that needs to happen. I mean, Penders he's reprinting Archie comic books. He's having to redo the art because he doesn't own the art, but I own the story. I wrote the story. I wrote the characters. So he's redrawing all the art of the comic, and he's going to reprint the Knuckles series. It's like, That's crazy. That's crazy that, and it's one of those things where I thought like, I was torn because it's like I almost felt like backing him because it needs to get big enough that Sega will step in and do something. If it's little here, like they don't care. It's like people selling Sonic merch on Etsy. They don't really care if you sold a Sonic mask or something or T-shirt or something on Etsy. It's only the moment when your Etsy shop blows up, then Sega cares and they step in and they go, no. If you're actually selling a significant amount of these, you're hurting our brand. When you were doing one or two, we didn't care. But if you're actually making a large profit and, you know, distracting people from the official stuff, that's when we care. And that's how a lot of these big corporations are. So it's almost like he needs to make a splash, but at the same time, he also has this inflated ego about like how important he is and like all these people that want to hear him finish his story, and he goes on. And I don't want him to think like he has some huge demand, nor would I want to somehow give Sega the signal that, you know, they should work with him again. But I would, at the same time, also want Sega, I do want those comics back. I hate that I had them digitally. Like, I have a portion of the collection in physical, but I had the complete Archie collection in digital, and I lost it all. All the pre-Rupert stuff is gone because when I upgraded my tablet, I couldn't re-download it. I had dropped and broken my tablet, went to go update it and put it on a new tablet, and they're like, oh, you know, yes, you own it, and yes, you have this purchase, but it's no longer on the shop to download because we don't own the right to it anymore. As part of our, you know, just not invoking any more lawsuits with this guy, even though they won everything. Like, Ken Penders didn't win. He didn't, you know, he didn't win, but he didn't lose, and so there's no definitive. And I would love, I want Sega to do more stuff with the Knuckles. I want Paramount to do stuff with it because I want this put to bed. Because right now, like in IDW, like there's rich, fertile stuff to that. But if Ian Flynn or Evan Sinley or anybody that was associated with Archie went on to write an IDW book about an extended Echidna family, immediately they'd get hit with legal things. And IDW doesn't have the money. Like, they will never touch it. But if it becomes game canon, if it becomes movie canon, like at a certain point, the threat is gone. It's established. It's not him. It's Sega. Sega owns this stuff. Sega has the right to it. That's what I want. So that is cool. This looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. My one concern, it says that it drops on, that made it kind of seem like it was like the whole series is dropping on one day. I was really hoping this would be drawn out week to week so there could be the water cooler talk about the episodes and do all that. And this could actually make a big splash. Grow the Sonic franchise if other nerds are talking about it. If podcasts are weekly talking about it. But what's going to happen is it's going to be a discussion outside of like the hardcore Sonic fan base. It's going to be a discussion for 1 week. 1 week's episode of a podcast. And there's going to be a lot of podcasters, you know, oh, hey, did you catch it? No, I didn't watch it. And then they're going to talk about it. They're going to spoil it and go, oh, yeah. And then they're never going to watch it. But if somebody like talks about the first episode and they hype it up, and then we're going to talk about it again next, and then people start watching it. That's how you grow a franchise. I hate the binge model. Especially like, yes, these are probably, and they said they're going to be 45-minute episodes. So, you know, that's, you know, what, 5 hours? That'll be crazy to release all at once. But I'm excited for it. I'm excited for whichever way. I just wish for the Sonic brand that it was a week to week so it could develop that. But maybe I think this is Paramount feeling that Sonic doesn't have the brand power, which I don't know why after the success of the movies. But maybe they mean for streaming, like our kid's going to go on there and do that. They've had trouble. They've taken stuff like Star Trek and tried to make a cartoon on there, and they just didn't have the support. And they had to put it out on, like Nickelodeon and stuff like that, because kids weren't going on Paramount Plus to watch stuff. Why is that? Because Paramount Plus, yes, there are kid shows on there, but it's not like Disney Plus. Like, the real value in Paramount Plus is all the cop shows, mystery shows, kind of just all that stuff, and some sitcoms and stuff, but like from the last 30, 40 decades, about, and then Star Trek. It's like, it's all that and then Star Trek. That's what Paramount Plus is, really. When you go down to it, I mean, now they have all the Paramount movies, but when they were CBS All Access, it was like you had all the current NCISs and stuff like that, but then you had like all the older crime shows and stuff like that was there, and then you had one of the Yellowstones was on there, which was a really hot show there, so, but those are all adult centered. Like, kids can enjoy it, but like and I can't remember which ones are on CBS. Is Matlock CBS, is Quincy CBS, like, but it was I believe Hawaii Five-0, like the classic and the reboot, and there's a lot of stuff like Magnum Classic, like there's a lot of here's the original, here's the reboot that we have, stuff on there. So like, if you're a fan of those programs, and it's just a lot of TV, but it's more adult-centered TV, and so and when you go on there, like, the kids stuff is buried. I know, like, in the recent Paramount commercial, they showed, in addition to Knuckles, they showed and Captain Picard and all, and football and all this different stuff they had. Oh, there's Hey Arnold, there's Dora the Explorer, and there's Peppa Pig. So obviously they have this stuff. I have a daughter. I have searched out kids movies. We've watched kids movies on Paramount Plus. Never in any of my recommendations is any kids cartoon. In fact, my recommendations is almost exclusively Star Trek. Because that's what I do. That it's Star Trek, and when the power goes out and the DVR doesn't record an episode of a crime show that's on CBS that me and my wife watch together, we then watch it on there. So, or if we start a new one, we miss the launch, but we keep seeing the commercials for it, and we're like, that show actually looks good. We'll go on to Paramount Plus, watch the first 6 episodes, and then start watching the show. So that is like the true value of Paramount Plus for us. Whereas, maybe they feel like for that audience, Knuckles is not going to get people coming back week to week. But I don't know. We'll see. With that, hope everybody's having a good day. Hopefully my camera mic is still working, as it just fell out of my ear. And I will see you in the next episode.